That's why you see me here all the time. I'm having a lot of fun.
You had a good week. You had a good week.
What do you mean a good week?
You had a good week. You had your daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Peter just brought it up. You had your family come in from Italy for the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
And then somehow, by some miracle, nobody expected it. Not one person in the world could have predicted.
I did, and I
Milan
actually called
beat
her.
You predict
Inter.
I called her at my daughter's speech at my daughter's speech.
my
I
God.
called it.
You didn't call. You said Forza Milan.
Well, I did it because then the game was next.
I was trying to antagonize
day.
him, but-
I had the confidence. I actually go ask the guys on Villa Abate. They said, "Andò domani 4 ce ne danno. So tomorrow we're gonna get 4 goals."
What'd you say?
And I said, I got a lot of faith that tomorrow it's not gonna happen. We're gonna get it.
My hopeful prediction was a tie. And I never thought it. And that was just trying to hope that there was going to be
I said we're gonna win. And actually, I'm gonna show you a text that I had with my friend Alessandro
I believe you.
Bonecchi.
I believe you.
Well, you choose Milan to win every game. So.
No.
You chose Milan to win the
Not
Scudetto,
this
too.
stuff. Yeah, I did, and it's gonna win.
Milan,
You still think
Liverpool.
you're
What'd
gonna
you
win?
choose?
Absolutely.
And guys, by the way, for the people that don't follow us on social media other than YouTube, congratulations to Antonio's daughter who got married. And on top of that, Anto delivered a little speech to the bride and the groom. And of course, like with Antonio fashion, he ended it with Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.
We gotta add it here for the people that
A
don't
lot of
see it,
people were
'cause it's
disappointed
hilarious.
with this Forza Milan
Why?
at the end of the speech.
So who?
Because especially
your
the
daughter?
Inter fan, the Juventus
people
fan.
there.
Was your daughter mad?
Disappointed.
No, absolutely. He said, Dad, I knew you were going to say
But
something
we
like that.
tried antagonizing Anto before the speech. He already was drinking a little bit. So we
yeah.
tried to get him to say, but more important than anything else,
Marco was pushing for
Forza
more important.
Because I figured you could get away with it in that moment.
Get away. What are you talking about?
Somebody said
would've
that
been handcuffed.
they saw your paper, and the only thing that was written on your speech was
Forza
remember to
Milan.
say Forza
Don't
Milan.
forget to say it.
Actually, I'm going to fish it out. You know what? You're right. I'm very lucky. My daughter got a spectacular guy, Mike. I think he follows us.
Mike?
Anyway, not Mike. I mean,
Different mic, different mic.
It's a different Mike. But,
Must be the name.
we have a, you know, his family.
He loves Mikes.
It's a great family. And
Good.
my
We're happy
daughter-
for you.
The only thing I want to see my daughter happy. So she's happy.
We appreciate you having us there.
Yeah.
On a special
Absolutely.
day. It was like,
Absolutely.
for everybody at home, Antonio sat us as close as we could possibly get to his own table.
Anto, I
He
asked
moved
around.
family, moved around
I
friends,
was
people
the
that
only
you're closer
Greek at
with.
that wedding.
You were the only
I
Greek,
asked
Mike.
every single person.
Hey, by the way, one of the band guys said he told me that he knows you.
Yeah, Armando.
Armando, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get to the football now? Let's talk about the derby della Madonnina.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Please.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Do you want to apologize now or at the end of the
About what?
podcast?
For what?
Ooh, what'd you do?
Come on.
What do I have to apologize for?
You need to apologize
What'd you do this time?
because
He's running through so many of all the things that he's done.
He's already done too much. What do you know? He's like, what do you know?
I've never seen it that fire before.
you were sucking.
I didn't suck myself.
Don't finish that. How are you sucking?
Fonseca.
He drank a lot. He drank a lot of that.
First of all, I was sucking Fonseca.
Yes, yes.
I never sucked Fonseca.
We got
Listen to me. Listen to me. I was the only one that said we're going to
Listen.
keep Fonseca. I
No,
like
no
him.
way. You want him out.
Find the proof to me.
Find you the proof.
You're
We're
gonna
going to
have
court.
it.
We're
going to
First
court.
of all, I got to meet him in person.
Yeah.
He's a spectacular guy.
Yeah, but you said if Inter, if
When?
Milan
Never.
loses this game, Fonseca should go.
Did he
so
drink something?
apologize to Fonseca.
I never did. I never
Apologize.
said that. Find me the proof. I never said that.
But
They didn't lose. They didn't lose.
I never said that. I think you
Yeah,
dreamed
but
it.
he,
hope
has
you have a good lawyer,
to, he
Anto.
said it, you know, now he's
No. I like
But-
Fonseca. I like it.
99% of the Milan
But
fans,
that's not me.
they said
I'm not
as soon as
99%.
this game is over and he loses, he's out.
You know what? I was not even sure that this would be happening anyway because nobody's in charge other than Zlatan. And he said it. I'm in charge over here. Anything that goes wrong goes through me.
So what did let's get into the game. Let's focus on Milan first, and then we'll transition to Inter. I thought the approach and the attitude from Milan was great. What did you make about the match?
Well, listen. I was a little stunned when I saw the 4-4-2 formation. I said to myself,
You didn't like it?
No. I said to myself, okay, this guy here is not going to go all the way. First of all, we were playing in Inter, we were playing away. The stadium was all Inter. So except for the Curva Sud, most of the stadium, we were 70,000 spectators. They were all Inter fan, all blue, and then 10,000 at the Curva. That was the AC Milan. But then when I saw the formation, the 4-4-2, and I said, okay, this guy is not going all the way out to try to embarrass the Inter.
Which was smart.
Which is very smart.
Not embarrass. You mean press them?
Yeah. Actually, we waited a little bit, but then at the end of the day, the first half, the first 10-15 minutes, I started to see the attitude was what impressed me. Everybody was focused. I think they were angry for the game because of the loss, the poor loss that we had against.
Hungry or angry?
Huh?
Hungry.
Hungry or
Angry
angry?
for the game,
okay.
whatever.
I just want to make sure.
Angry?
Yeah, you said it perfect.
Yeah.
I understood it.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, so we want.
Sucking or sacking?
We didn't want to. We didn't want to lose this game, so that's what I said to myself. I said to myself, "This is the right attitude that I wanted to see."
Drink a lot.
And luckily, we have a champion that is actually American that started to trouble Inter with that.
That's
that
right.
Boom, 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 boom.
And he shook his hand
Oh.
a few weeks prior.
He's perfect.
You did tell him, you said, you're great, but you could be even better.
He said, I
and
want you to
this
win the
season,
champion.
so far, 6 games, 4 goals, 2 assists, stepping up in the big games. Is he Milan's best player?
He is. And then I asked him, I said, you're going to do me a favor, Christian. I want you to win me the Champions League.
Yeah, he did say Champions League.
And he said he's going to give it his best. He's going to give it a shot. Okay, he's going to give it a shot. The guy's not shy to try. And you know what? He did 2-3 times.
Yeah,
like
that was nice.
You
That
guys
was
are the
very nice.
snake, but he snaked you out. 2-3 times.
Said it
Bang.
tempted.
The first
Bang.
time, bang.
Yeah, that was a
And
nice
then-
goal.
Bing or bang?
Bang.
So, for real, he's the best player on Milan
He's
right now.
so far.
Is everybody in agreement with that?
For skills, for attitude,
In form-wise,
for number of goals, and for creativity, he's all over the place. To me,
He's very consistent as well.
Yeah.
And I think this year he's stepping up in the big games. I think that was one thing that we had a conversation about last year was in the big moments, and it was his first year in Italy, but in the big moments we wanted to see him be the one. And the attitude to win the ball back and do it all himself and to be vertical and to have the aggression. And I love even his celebration after where he's telling everybody
He
to be
shushed them.
quiet.
That's
Like,
right.
he did
You
like
gotta
3
chip on his
celebrations.
shoulder.
right.
He did the tiger one. He did the shush.
That's
he did a
right.
But that's what you
That's
he got like
right.
3 goals out of that one.
I like that. I like that Pulisic. I don't like the nice Pulisic.
Yeah.
I want the one that's
I
angry.
want a nasty Pulisic.
Yes. What did you make of him?
Well, I have never been a big Pulisic because he never shows up in the big
I
game.
remember saying it last season
But
too.
in this game, he showed up.
He was a big player.
He showed up more than Leao showed up. He showed up in a big time. He was attacking, he was defending, he was doing everything. He was pressing, he was running, he was coming back. As soon as they lost the ball, the 4-2-4 became, he came back. Leao did not come back, but he came back. So I was impressed with this game. I really must say that he did very well.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
Even
do you want to speak or?
Peter better walk out of here.
Pete, it's okay to lose once in a while. It's okay.
No,
You
it's been
can't win
2.5
it all.
years.
Oh my!
It's okay to lose. This is just the beginning.
been 2.5
just
years,
to
I
get used to
know.
it. It's just the beginning. It's okay. I'm telling you. It's okay.
It gets easier.
You don't have to cry. I know that you were crying.
No,
but it's
listen,
okay.
you can lose a derby. You shouldn't lose if the other team is going to win a Scudetto. But that's a whole different story. So
I'm not gonna
what
get down.
what
to
I
the
would say
dirt
is
with this.
going back to Pulisic. I think he stepped up for this Milan team. Although they've had a rough start, I like the approach to this game, and I think a lot was on the line in terms of what Milan was going to do moving forward. Because I think if you didn't see a reaction or a response by these Milan players, it would have meant that Fonseca has
Good
his
point.
bags ready to depart, and the players don't want him. So in seeing that approach and seeing that response, I think that was very positive, and it's an important part of a season for Milan to now continue and do this. I would say, Pulisic is a leader for the U.S. national team. He can be a leader for this team. I don't know how far you want me to talk about Milan, but I think the 4-4-2 that you mentioned was not a true 4-4-2. I think they still play the similar formation. The only difference is there was a different interpreter. Instead of a Loftus-Cheek, they had a Morata. And I think Morata is probably one of the best, being able to come back, receive the ball, and bring the team forward. And I like the pair, Tammy Abraham and Morata, I think work really well. And maybe it's something that now is going to be very
Tammy's great. Tammy's great.
He's a fighter.
Tammy seems like he's been at Milan way longer than he has been. He's got the right approach. He's got the right attitude and the spirit and the energy. It's all these little things that you can't quantify in stats at all. It's very hard to. And I wish he would have scored that goal, because then it would have been really easy to talk about his performance. But even him on the sideline, like, he's getting everybody pumped up. And there was a little bit of a lack of that at Milan. I think they're very good technically. They're better than the start that they've had to the season on paper. But they missed that bit of that little push. And for me, Tammy Abraham is bringing that to the team. And I love that him and Morata could play together, because I was thinking that it would have been one or the other. How do you like Tammy so far?
Very impressed, because the fact that it was not utilized in Rome, he was injured and then he came back and all the stuff, and the fact that Roma gave up on him, and I said to myself, something must not be right with these kids here, because he's a top player. The guy at some point he was a 20 plus goal scorer, and I said, why Roma just gave up on this guy here, which it was very big. So finally, I think we got it on the cheap. We didn't spend a lot of money. I think what did we spend for Tammy? Very little. I think 15, something like that. Or 12 to 15, less than that.
I thought it was on loan.
On loan? No.
I think it's an option, no?
But anyway,
The option.
we didn't spend a lot of money for him. And I said, and now we found ourselves with the place where we were lacking. Since Giroud departed, I said, oh my God, we need a forward. And now we find ourselves with two forwards that are excellent, both of them, Morata and Abraham.
Very different as well.
But let me just say one more thing.
Yeah, alone.
We have
With an option?
we have options right now, because what I haven't seen yesterday, what I didn't see yesterday, it was AC Milan using the wings all the time. 3 or 4 times, Leao gets the ball, he stops and he passes the ball back. I was burning into my stomach. I said, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to choke him. But AC Milan played vertically so well. You see, Pulisic did that move 2-3 times. And then after that, Chukwueze comes in, he did the same thing. AC Milan he caught Inter by surprise by just going through the middle vertically instead of going through the wings and crossing the ball.
The thing that I liked about Milan too is they stopped. They were naive in the last derbies. They were naive in a couple of big matches where they try to press them nonstop. And if you do that to a team like Inter, I had said it. Me and Mike filmed the preview, and I said there would be suicide for them to do that. And I love that he waited. Even in the beginning, he was waiting for them at midfield, because that's what you got to do against a team like Inter. And the next thing that I love so much, the next thing that I loved about Milan is they got to a moment where they created the better chances throughout the match, maybe like 70th minute, 75th minute, and you could tell they smelled blood in the water. They didn't want to be happy with the tie. They could see that Inter, they were finding the opportunities, they were finding the slow defense that Inter had, the pockets of space, and they went for it, and they went for the win. And for me, that's a very good approach from Milan.
Well, this is just one step for Milan on a long road. You have a long way to go. And when you bought Morata, I thought that was it. There was the center forward for AC Milan. So I don't know what happened with Abraham, if it was a desperation move at the last moment. He was available. It didn't cost that much money. Okay, let's get Abraham too, which I can believe that Roma let him go. But anyway.
We got it, Gaetano, because Morata was injured. So I said, hey, let's
but
go.
Morata was injured when? After the first game of the season, I think.
It was going
so
to 3 games
it was
after
a last-minute deal.
Yes, it was available. Like you said, you were right.
Okay.
It was available.
According to Fonseca, he said that he wanted him since day one.
Okay. I don't believe that. But anyway, number two.
You just said they're different players, though.
No, but when they bought Morata, I think they went all the way. They never talked about Abraham. They always talked about Morata because Fonseca believed in Morata. That's the player that he wanted. That's the player tactically that he needed. Okay. Anyway, so that's number one. Number two, Gabbia. Okay, you gave up on Gabbia.
I didn't.
Hey, another one. He didn't.
I
To be
didn't.
fair, I'm going to
Never.
stick with Anto.
Okay.
Fine.
He actually liked Gabbia a lot.
Okay, I'm not
Well,
saying
find
him.
the tape.
I'm talking about
you're saying
Milan.
Milan.
Oh, Milan,
I'm not
okay.
talking about you. I'm talking about Milan.
They left him for
They-
dead.
Yeah, they let him go. He was a
Villarreal.
Villarreal. Then I think at the last moment, then it was a desperation. Okay, let's bring him back because you were short.
That part's accurate, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this guy yesterday, he was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
Defensively, offensively, did everything. Number 3, Fonseca. Okay? If he would have lost yesterday's game, he was out.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no?
All right.
I think he was
Yeah,
definitely out.
I think
He
it was,
was
out
definitely
for
out.
sure.
He was definitely
That's
out.
why everything was circulating. All the
Yeah.
news were
Dude,
saying that.
how much of a leash does Fonseca get now?
Oh, now he's good. He's
More than
good.
Aldo.
Games. He's got to the
More than
Panettone.
Anto's list.
He's good until
The panettone. you say.
At least.
I wonder if they keep on this formation. We spoke about Milan a lot. We give them the credit. Let's switch over to Inter and let's get, what did you think went wrong in this match? Because when it went to 1-1, Inter had grew back into the game in the first half, and I'm sure you thought that maybe they were gonna take it.
Listen, I think Inter had a decent 20 minutes, maybe 25. Completely wrong approach to the game. I give a lot of credit to Fonseca and to Milan and what they were able to do as far as a character. It felt like Inter were not up to this. They prepared this game wrong.
How come?
They look slow. I don't know. I think, I've heard, and I obviously you play versus Man City and you had such a dominating performance, or not even, just a good performance, let's say. And, having 2 games of that magnitude, maybe it is draining, especially with, they were talking about Inter having probably the oldest team in Italy. So a lot of things can point in that direction. I just think that Milan were hungrier. There was a lot more at stake. I think the bad taste in the mouth from last year was there. The fact that Milan didn't win in so long was there. And I think Milan had everything ready to go, whereas Inter, they just weren't there. They weren't there. Then even we looked like we were going to come back into this game. DiMarco's goal, there was some opportunities. Magnan made an unbelievable save on Thuram, and then the second half again went dormant. There was nothing there. The substitutes, you changed 3 of the midfielders. I know there was the yellow cards maybe, and that we know leads to Inzaghi's choices, but it was just not enough. And you can't take out your best players in a derby. And even with that being said, just not to cut off Gaetano, Milan probably could have scored another 2 goals, but they only won in the 89th minute versus a poor Inter team.
That's true.
You were smirking.
Yeah, because of this, Inzaghi, the yellow cards, he puts Aslani. I don't know if Aslani was the type of player for this game at that point. I don't think you needed that player. So that's why, sometimes maybe Inzaghi is overcoaching. But I wanted to say something about the defense. And I think somebody's getting a little bit older. But when Pulisic got that ball and he went through, you know what Acerbi did? He went through to 3 Inter players. You know what Acerbi did?
He let him go.
He went like
He didn't want to
this,
foul him. He
and
was
he
scared
went
to
back.
foul him.
He's outside the area. Are you kidding me?
Pull him
You
right
got
down.
3 players all around you,
Hakan should
and
have
he
done that
goes
first.
through. You cannot go through. But
Gaetano did it 3 times. Pulisic one time, he got his ball a little long and he got caught by the keeper.
But if you're 1-on-1, okay, you beat the guy. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you got 3 guys.
They probably didn't think he was
They
going to go
should've fouled
through
him.
too.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, what he did was
when
incredible.
I looked at it, I said, "There's no way that he can go through."
Yeah, me
but
too.
he was courage enough. He had the courage.
Yeah.
Because when
To
you
go
looked
through.
at it, he got the ball from Mkhitaryan. I think he got the ball. He got the ball and he went through. He had 3
But
guys
there was chances
there.
that he could have, like Hakan could have easily brought him down, but he didn't think he was going to go through.
But
Maradona
that goes to
around
Pulisic
players.
because he had the courage
Oh, for sure.
to just go through, and he was faster than everybody else.
Even the
For
timing,
sure. No, the touches too were
Yeah.
great. How we went around the defense.
But defensively, you had more problems than just that, though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen really holes in your back line
Listen.
like the way that I saw. For example, the Tammy Abraham chance.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really
That
see you
was-
guys get picked apart
There
like
was
that very
lapses of
often.
concentration.
What was
sure.
it? Is it concentration? Is it the old? Is it the tiredness? Is it you guys love to play on the counter? So maybe I don't know. Like, what was it?
I think, Marco, let me just say, Peter said well before, he said 25 minutes, Inter really gave us a hard time. In other words, they had their chances. If this game will have been happening, with Inter would be leading, it would not be a surprise. Magnan made a spectacular save. Nobody's denying that. And Gabbia, he just put the tip of his foot just to deflect another ball that was going clearly to the mark. The Marco, boom, would have been the number 2. But aside from that, I think Inter, they downplay how much AC Milan was angry for the game. The fact that I said, "Oh, we're gonna get those guys, so don't worry. It's just it's about time. We're gonna get it." And when I saw Di Marco just inside in the crowd, when I think it was one of the balls that went out, it was a corner kick, and I said, "Okay," he had all the crowd on his back and all the stuff. I said, "Oh God, no, it's gonna be problem." But that the things translate actually to be the opposite side. He got the AC Milan player double angry for the game, and I think the excuse, I think the factor that Inter really played Manchester City, it was a huge factor. They had an extra day.
But you guys played.
We had an extra day. No, we had an extra day of rest, and they overused the player. Barella had no juice left at the last half an hour. That's why he was subbed. I mean, Catano was questioning the subs.
Had a great game for City.
Catano was questioning the sub. I would have subbed Lautaro, to be honest with you. You have Taremi over there. Lautaro didn't do anything. The guy looks.
What is
this whole season?
What's
The whole season he hasn't done
only one goal in his last.
I think the fact that
Since
Marco,
May, I think he's.
What is it?
Since May, he hasn't
the
scored.
fact that he hasn't scored, something is getting to his head.
He is like this
But
as
that's
a
a
striker,
striker
though.
thing. That's a striker thing in
but it's also a
general, too,
Lautaro
right?
thing. We've
That's
seen him
the-
go through these long
Droughts.
periods of time, and then he'll go and play Salernitana and score, 4 goals. What is it? He got an assist, though. To be fair, in this game, he got an assist.
I think we've had a stop and start. Like, we still haven't been into the full swing of things. So, obviously it's worrying when Lautaro doesn't score, but Thuram has stepped up big, and unfortunately in this Milan game, both of them were kind of out of it, and the whole team really. So I can't pinpoint Lautaro. He got the assist, like you said. A big team, you need your top players to score. If those guys don't find the back of the net, it's hard. It's hard to win games. It's hard to win these important games because it's a game of inches. I mean, what a fantastic ball by Reinders for Gabbia to score that goal.
Right.
The timing was perfect on the run and everything. So, Milan, they played their match and they showed, I guess, everyone that, hey, we might have had a slow start, but we're right here and we have the players to do something. I mean, Reinders was fantastic. Pulisic was amazing. Tammy, Morata, everybody played great. The only player that I thought was not up to par was Leao.
Yes.
Who I expect a lot more.
He was kind of invisible.
If all these guys are running on
he took shots, but
but
shots were terrible.
Wasn't anything that he needed.
Shots were pretty bad.
Wasn't what he could do.
No,
that's
sure.
that's my biggest thing.
I mean, I would have given an injection of Cassano, talent on his feet. If that guy had this much of talent on his feet.
How much do we read into this now? How much do we read into this? Because we all picked, except you, the 4 of us picked Inter to win the Scudetto. I know it's only 5 games into it. We have Torino at the top of the table. And by the way, I was going through every other league, and because I was like, oh, it's only 5 games though. Every other league, everyone who you'd expect to be the top 2 is the top 2. There's absolutely no surprises there. Yet Serie A, we have one, and we said it before though. I feel like in Serie A, on any given day, anything could happen. Anyone could beat anyone, and I don't think that's because of a lack of talent. I think it's because even our smaller teams, our small to middle teams, they've got courage, they play good football, and we're going to have a Scudetto race. Are we reading too much into this, that Inter have lacked concentration in a couple of matches, only 2 wins so far in the 5?
I think you are overreading into it. Gaetano, go ahead. You go.
No, to me, Inter does not have the fight to be hungry for another Scudetto. I think we're so favorite, and everybody say you're going to beat Milan 3-0. And I think this got a little bit into their heads that they're going to win games easily, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be, when you're on the top, it gets more difficult, because when you're on top,
you got to maintain it.
To maintain the top, it's more difficult than to get there.
for sure.
They have a target on their back right now. So now we
And you
That's
said,
why I didn't put Inter
You have
on the
Napoli, right?
you said this before the season, not just because of this one loss. You said Napoli from before the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The lapse of concentration is an issue, I think, with Genoa, with Monza, with Milan, goals after the 80th minute. So that's something that, that's all on concentration and just being able to, get that result, finish that game off. So that's worrying signs, I think, also because, what are we concentrating now with this new format of a Champions League? We shouldn't put all our eggs in one basket and then forget about Serie A. Be like, oh, we could win easily. It's not the case. As you said, you have Torino's in first place. You have a lot of players that are gonna fight.
Yeah.
So
These freaking teams.
the only thing I would say is it's going to be a weird year in particular because of all the changes. There's a lot of coaching changes. So a lot of these guys still don't know what they're playing with. The only guy that's really got 100% or whatever, the most out of his team has been Torino with Vanoli. But Thiago Motta is going through growing pains. Fonseca, we know.
Inzaghi, we know too.
Inzaghi, we know now too. But, Conte, I think the dark horse is going to be, can this Napoli team really
Do something.
Let's lead with Thiago Motta, because I've seen now the criticism online from some Juventus fans saying 3 0-0s in a row. They haven't conceded a goal in Serie A, but they're struggling to score besides the opening games against Como and Verona. And then also PSV, if we throw that one in there. And some people saying, did Juventus make an upgrade on Thiago Motta? For me, it's the growing pains of getting a new coach and a very new system and so many new players. It's still going to take time to click. It's still year zero for this Juventus side. So I don't agree with the narrative that says, is no upgrade from when Allegri was there because you're getting similar results. I think the team is playing much better football. I think everybody's involved, but not everybody understands where they're supposed to be yet, and that's normal in a process where the entire front four is new. Nico Gonzalez, Yildiz was there before, Cup Miners. So that's how I see it. I thought the game against Napoli, I thought it was better than what people were saying it was. I saw people saying it was a boring game.
Napoli played a little better, to be honest with you.
I think it's a better result for Napoli. Juventus were in control, and Napoli actually probably did have the two best chances. I thought it was a brilliant match, and for me, it showed me that those are two teams that are going to fight with Inter for the Scudetto. I saw both of them up to par for it, and it was one of those games where it's still early on into the season. Nobody wanted to overexpose themselves and to lose a game, because if either side would have lost, then it could have been a more dramatic situation. So it felt calculated to me.
I don't think Napoli, Juventus.
Focus on Juve.
Juve. Okay, I don't think Juve's got the squad this year.
No?
To go. No, they don't.
But they have so many players that
spend
are
a lot of money.
They don't.
L'Inter, you spend that money, you have to go for the Scudetto.
Listen, Juventus, they don't have it. They might
you
have
have
a
to
great
go for the
coach.
Scudetto.
Yeah, they have to, but they don't have it. You have Inter, you have AC Milan, you got Napoli, and Roma. All of a sudden they suck their ass. They find themselves with the Juric, right?
Juric.
They find themselves with Juric, and all of a sudden
All right,
it's
we'll get
like
to Roma.
Go to Juve.
Huh?
Juve.
We'll get to Roma.
Okay, all right. So the Juventus do not have a squad.
I don't think so.
No,
Because they don't look. Vlahovic is not the answer for to finalize, to put the ball on the nets. Besides Vlahovic and Yildiz, if either or they do not perform, Juventus is not producing. It's not putting numbers on the board. Defensively, excellent. Nobody's saying anything. Midfield, excellent. The forward line, I don't see it. I just don't see it.
But
I
do we?
just don't see
So
it.
my question is, do we not see it yet? And I agree that we don't see it yet. It looks like the growing pains, but I think we will see it as the season develops.
I think,
I don't know
to be
about that.
honest, the way it's going, okay, we also got to figure out, this is Motta's first time at a big team, right? Second of all, this Motta's first time playing a midweek game, like in Champions League, then playing a Serie A match, which is huge jump from what he was doing last season with Bologna and
Spezia before.
yeah, so on, so forth. I thought Juventus were pretty impressive considering Napoli had a whole week to prepare for this match. Meanwhile, Juve were running a few days. They had a game a few days prior, and I do think Juve been showing flashes of brilliance. Some games better than others, and he has so much talent on there. I think it's only a matter of time till we start seeing Motta's ball actually like taking effect on the field. I think Juve overall probably were a little bit dissatisfied with the game because they probably could have won. They had maybe a few more chances overall, but I expected more from Napoli overall, and I didn't really see that. So I give more credit for Motta.
Really? I give more credit to Napoli.
I thought
I think Juventus should have done more in this game. You're playing at home.
No, I get, but considering they just came off a midweek game, I thought it was very impressive that they didn't concede too much to Napoli in terms of chances.
I mean, they asked Bremer and Thiago Motta after the game said we dominated the game, we should have won. And Conte said everyone can interpret games differently. All you have to do is go look at which goalkeeper is dirty and which goalkeeper is not dirty. Di Gregorio is the one who had to make the saves. He doesn't remember either of goalkeepers having to make a save. And when you do check the replay, he had the shot on McTominay, and there was also Di Gregorio when Politano sent the ball in. So he's kind of right on that.
No, I mean, Nico Gonzalez is one of the best wingers that we have in Serie A. Yildiz is going to become one of the best number 10 in Serie A. Koop Meiners is an excellent player. I think he's one of the best midfielders in Serie A. You need Vlahovic to start scoring
goals,
some goals.
He's on the Lautaro form.
You know, he gets the chances. I mean, he gets some nice ball, but he cannot finish it. So if he starts to finish, I think then you're going to see them fly. So you're putting a lot of pieces together. You know, Yildiz, Koop Meiners, Nico Gonzalez, Vlahovic. You know, you have all these pieces here, and it's going to take a little bit of time before they. But you win a couple of games in Champions League, and you'll see how.
And they played great in Champions League too.
They did.
They played very good. They
PSV.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I think the game against PSV and then the game against PSV is very different, though. I think Juventus play well when teams play open. PSV score a lot of goals in their own league. They were 5 for 5 at that point, 5 wins in 5 games. When teams play open, Juventus can play good. When teams sit back and they defend and they play compact, they saw it against Roma, we saw it against Empoli. That's when Juventus become very tough to find the space.
Well, I think they let go one of the best players, but that's water under the bridge.
What were you going to say?
No, I would say that the signs of a good team is when they don't let in goals. So already that Juve has played 5 games in Serie A and have not let in a good goal. A goal is a telling sign. Going forward, we need to see more. It's going to take a little bit more time. Thiago Motta and his style and his approach to a game is very detailed and very different than what Allegri was teaching, or any coach of that matter, because it's a lot on the space and finding a space. You have to understand the runs. You have to understand how that ball is going to move. So, and even players-wise, Zirkzee is very different than a Vlahovic.
For sure.
In his approach.
Explain.
Well, Zirkzee, he was more of a falso nueve.
Yeah, he wasn't a real 9.
He was able to come back, receive the ball. I see him more as a Morata, let's say, type of player that's going to receive, turn, make something happen, and then bring up that team. Where Vlahovic, at times he can drop back, but he's not suited for that.
That might be his worst quality.
Meaning that he's not going to give you anything.
Yeah,
like he can do it, but it's not really. Play. It's not really a strength.
I would say he's. I love Vlahovic. I think there is a world class talent there. He hasn't shown it, but I think that might be his worst trait is his build up play.
Yeah, and with Thiago Motta also, it's a matter of understanding. Hey, there's a player that Juventus spent a lot of money for. We can't just let him run to the ground. He has to start producing. So if at the very least we need to sell him, we can sell him for the money. So I see Thiago Motta as, the 0-0s and stuff. I think he's maturing as a coach because when you coach Juve, it's a lot different than coaching a Bologna or coaching a Spezia. You're allowed to lose games with Bologna. With Juve, you're not allowed to lose. So I see you like to make the reference about Limone and Inzaghi. I see Thiago Motta like he's a lemon. He's a lime right now. He's green. It could serve. You could have a lime and it does you justice, but the real fruit that you want is the lemon. So he's maturing, and he needs to be able to become a dominant coach.
I
That wasn't Antonio.
respectfully-
No, I haven't. Can anyone translate?
that's-
So you
Are
call
you drinking the Anto water?
So you call limone. Is he a lemon already?
I hope so.
He's not right.
Let me respectfully.
He's a lemon with some
Let me respectfully disagree. with you.
agrodolce.
Surprise.
The difference between Limone Inzaghi and Thiago Motta.
He's won a scudetto, Limone,
Relax.
and Champions League final.
Relax.
He won a Champions League final.
No, he was in the Champions League.
Inzaghi, Limone, it's not Pippo Inzaghi. Limone played for Lazio. Yeah, you're fine, he won the Scudetto. But aside from that, he didn't do much as a
that mean?
player.
What does that
Thiago
mean?
Motta.
As a- Look at Mourinho.
Relax.
No, you're right. We're not
Relax.
arguing players. You're right.
Thiago Motta does not need to win something to go from a mediocre team like Bologna to Juventus or AC Milan.
Bologna do this.
Thiago Motta played for
Inter.
PSG.
Yeah, we understand. Anto.
He played for PSG.
Oh, nobody's arguing.
Yeah, but that's
You're
a
right.
different
You're absolutely
story.
right.
So I don't think that's an argument that you can just, you can cut.
As a
the
coach, is
slack to
completely
Thiago Motta.
different as a player.
Thiago Motta was ready to coach Juventus even last year. I would have taken my chance even a year before.
I think you did make a good point about Juventus, and for me, I actually saw some really positive signs. I see a team that's playing football, that's getting involved. So I don't compare it to Allegri's team at all. I think it's normal. It's year zero for this team, and I think this team is going to grow. I see a potential for a very good future for this squad, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Vlahovic also was subbed off by Timothy Weah at halftime. I thought that said a lot. Tim Weah had played there at PSG when he was young. He played as a false number 9, and his link-up play is a little bit more like Xerxes, where he likes to get involved. He's got a good touch on the ball. He kind of opens up that space behind, but that is a worrying sign, and that is a way. When you sub a player off at halftime, it's different than you subbing him off in the 60th minute. That was a cause for concern for me. Let's switch over to Napoli. And I know you say you're not too impressed with them, but I disagree. I think I was very impressed.
I just
with
expected
Napoli.
more from Napoli in terms of the chances
Nobody
created.
expected anything from Napoli this year. Everyone, they lost their first game
I
against
put them
Verona.
top. I mean,
You have Juventus above them.
The only one that
You have
put them
Juventus
more
above them. So why are you expecting Napoli to be Juventus?
Because for the week that was coming off Champions League, I thought
It's
that was
still
gonna
early in the season, though. I don't think it
get
plays as
it.
big of a part.
I thought
as-
it was gonna be a bigger part.
I was personally, I was very impressed with Napoli. I think they played the game that they needed to play. I thought they looked well prepared. I loved McTominay in the midfield. The way that he burst forward, Conte changed. He did something different than the 3-man back line than we're used to seeing. Lukaku got absolutely pocketed the entire game by Bremer. That was one of the best battles that I've ever seen, and Bremer absolutely won it. And we don't see that very often in football for Lukaku to be pocketed. Kvara didn't have his best game. A lot of Napoli players didn't have their best game. McTominay was the best player, him and Lobotka for me. Yet they still got a draw in Torino at the Juventus Stadium, where a lot of people thought Conte was going to resign after the first day. They were going to have all these problems. I was very impressed at the way that they stayed contained. They fought. They've got an attitude about them. And for me, they confirmed that they will be in the Scudetto race until the end.
Maybe. I think I would say it's still,
up in the air.
yeah.
Well, you have them winning the Scudetto. What did you say?
So from the time that Conte got there, so they got a good coach. He's a winning coach. He always wins on the first year wherever he goes.
Except Inter.
But he needed a
Ronaldo was on the other team.
he needed a center forward, and when he got Lukaku, I said that's it.
It's
The
a wrap.
puzzle is done. He's got great wings. He's got a good center forward. I liked the midfield. I love Anguissa. I like Lobotka. I think those two
McTominay,
guys,
too.
they can do anything. Lobotka, he directs traffic. Anguissa, he's got some physical and abilities, technical, so he can do everything. The goalkeeper is very good.
Di Lorenzo.
I always liked Meret as one of the best goalkeepers. So they have a lot of quality, and I think they're going to go far.
Winning,
Very far.
You put them at number 1.
Yeah,
They're
you put
gonna
them
win,
one.
right? They're going to win.
That's what I got. I got them to
I
win.
like the edge. I like the edge
like
about the team. It feels like everybody's bought back in. to we are a competitive team, which was completely lost. That spirit, that attitude, that feeling. And for me, these are not the games that you have to win. You don't have to go beat Juventus in Torino on your first year this early on into a season. Because you know why? Teams like Inter, teams like Juventus, they are going to slip up in the small games when Champions League starts to play its part. And we have 8 group stage league phase games. And guess what? Napoli's going to be preparing for a match against Lecce, and they're going to be 1,000% focused. And those are the games that, in the long run, are going to help you compete to win the title.
Let's also say from that first game that Napoli played, there's
3-0.
like yeah, but
Verona.
there's like four new players on the starting 11. So you know you have McTominay, Lukaku,
Gilmore.
Bongiorno was injured; he wasn't playing that game.
Mazzocchi was still there.
You know, so this is a completely new team within these 2-3 weeks. He's got the players that he wants. You know, they have the physicality that he wants. He loves players from England, and he's got these guys. You even have a Billy Gilmore that can help in the midfield as a creative midfielder.
Off the bench.
So Neres, I think, will become a
He's
starter.
great, yeah.
So there's a lot of positivity. One thing I would say with Inter, Conte had to play Champions League his first year. When he doesn't have to play Champions League, he's always won. So I think the team is formed and looks like it's built the way Conte wants it to be built. Yeah. So I feel like he makes every team a challenger.
Let me just say
number one.
something, Pete. I think we're trying to overanalyze some of those situations.
They finished 10th place last year.
Do not forget that Napoli last year, having won the Campionato, they finished 10th. Okay? Same player, except for one.
No.
It was Kim, yes.
Oh, you're saying last year? Sorry.
last year.
Yeah. I thought you meant this
Different
year.
coach.
So to me, I think being the confidence of a player or the belief of this player on the project or the coaching stuff and all the stuff, it's a lot. It makes a big difference.
Exactly.
Okay? 1 second. So what I'm trying to say is that Inter, they are overconfident. They said, hey, look at the way we won last year. Hands down, we're going to win again this year because we made ourselves better. They got themselves Zelinski, they got themselves Taremi.
That's good
So they got
acquisition.
themselves better in a way that, hey, we got them on the cheap, we got them for free. The squad was excellent already. Now we add a couple more players that they're going to do do nothing but increase our chance to repeat. Ugurt. But I don't think this is the overconfidence is a factor that might just come and play against you.
What does that have to do with Napoli?
Well, it has to do with Napoli because I don't think Napoli has it right now. Just the fact that they won a couple
You just
games,
said the coach.
doesn't matter.
Conte.
No, Conte's not a coach. I don't believe in Conte.
Oh, come on.
Conte's a lot of hype.
I don't
Are you
believe
kidding
in
me?
Conte.
Listen to me.
Remember that Italy team
Listen
in
to me.
2018?
The first
What was it,
loss that they're going to
2016,
get.
16?
Listen. Conte's not a coach. Maybe not this year. Maybe in another couple of years. He's not winning the Campionato this year. Maybe third or fourth.
Clip it.
Fourth.
I'm just saying as far as a
they
coach.
are finishing for me, confirmed finish top 2. Now I'm happy to say top 2.
Not
Ooh,
top
confirmed,
2.
top
I'll
two.
get
Top two.
relaxed.
Top
Fourth
2.
would be a miracle.
And I'm being conservative.
Conservative.
Because only two
Relax.
leagues.
Clip that.
Yo, the Messina,
You're
the
big. He
Messina,
said
they
he's
are
being
on something.
conservative
I
with
had
top
them-
2.
I had them top
You made
2.
it seem like it's crazy if
Yo.
they finish outside the top 2.
The Messina, they're on something. Both.
They will never. They'll never finish below 3rd. There's no way.
Oh, top
There's
2
no way.
guys said.
There's no way. And I have them 2nd.
Yeah.
So
But you
right
said
now-
confirmed top 2.
Confirmed. That's what I say. It will be crazy.
I hope so. I hope
saw
they
the
win a
signs.
Scudetto.
I saw the
hope
signs that I
so.
needed to
I
see.
really do.
I felt it already before the season, but I thought maybe Inter were going to be too strong. But I feel good. And it's still early. Let's talk about Roma. You said coaches don't make an impact. Juric,
Big impact.
3-0. Udinese that was coming in at the top of the table before
they were
this.
first.
Different Roma too as well. Like a team that pressed, that played with a different intensity than under De Rossi.
Me and Marco did a podcast a few days ago without you guys really quickly, but we
was
talked
really
about it was a very peaceful
Mike.
and quiet.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. You were Ubering around.
I
your
was
relatives.
Ubering around.
Yeah.
That's right.
But we're talking
everywhere.
about how Juric is that kind of coach that demands a different kind of respect, and he makes his team fight for each other. He's very organized. He makes everyone press, which we saw. If you guys saw that Roma game, they looked incredible. Dovbyk looked like the the top goal scorer from last season. He was involved in all 3 goals. He scored. He assisted. He won. He won the ball back for Dybala to win the penalty, and they looked fantastic. Udine looked like a team fighting to stay up. When in reality, before that, they looked great against all the teams they played for. So whatever, it's 1 game, but this is the thing that you expect when you get a new coach. You get like a different kind of spark. But overall, Roma looked exciting. They looked like a different team before the past few games, and I'm excited to see how they do for the next few games.
Kind of the Vlahovic argument. we saw Dovbyk trying to hold the ball up a lot under De Rossi in the first couple of games, and I think he's also not as suited at it. And if you see the games that he played with Girona when he was top goal scorer, 24 goals, it was those runs into space, which is exactly how he scores the first goal. That's a little bit more suited to him. So maybe Juric could help get the best out of Dovbyk. And it's not mutually exclusive. I still will say, and you guys, I know you didn't talk about De Rossi. Mike and I said there's no way De Rossi should have been sacked, but you can still be happy and excited for Juric to come in.
The thing is with Roma, you have De Rossi. He had the same effect as Juric.
Yeah, it's
in
true.
that one
It's
game,
true.
he had it for 11
It's
games.
true. You're right.
Okay, so he comes in. He's one of Roma's, children, right? Between Totti and De Rossi, you can't touch them in Rome. Those guys are bigger than the club. So any decision that you make with them, it has to be very calculated. And I feel like this one was kind of out of nowhere. To sack De Rossi after 4 games, I mean, I understand the expectations this year with the money spent is Champions League.
Is that realistic though?
The money that they spent, they want Champions League. That's the objective.
That's a goal.
Okay, but that's the objective. So for them, they saw it as being, that Roma were totally off where they were supposed to be.
Yeah, but is it realistic for you?
For me, no. But before the year starts, every team goes through their objectives, and I think Champions League was an objective for the Freakin', and they want De Rossi to be held to that certain standard. My thing is, don't give him a 3-year contract, right? Extension, and then give him only 4 games, where 2 of them were still under, the transfer window, and there's completely new players now with Roma. So it was unjust. It was, a decision that was made behind closed doors, and I feel that there was already some friction going on before, but definitely it's been a bad PR move if you look at it on that side, because the fans are furious. They came in 30 minutes later in the game. But how do you combat that? You win. If you win, give it some time, and people will not necessarily forget, because De Rossi, you can't touch him.
It's easier to swallow.
I feel like
they're going to see something.
I feel like Roma is one of those places that they value respect, and they value their club, and they value their pride more than anything, even more than winning. Like, look at Totti's career, for example. He loved Roma more than he loved winning. Otherwise, he would have went to Real Madrid. He understood what that club meant. So I think no matter what, it's going to leave a bitter taste in their mouth, because not only for the emotional side, also the logical side, there's no way he should have been sacked. Yeah. Roma's close to your heart. What did you make of it?
This freaking I don't think they know what they're doing, to tell you the truth. I mean, you have a project, okay? This is where you start. You have a project. What is the project? If the project is that after 4 games, 5 years, you sack the coach, what kind of project do you have? I mean, you did the same thing with Mourinho. Mourinho should have never been fired. Okay, he should have stayed. And now you did the same again. You made the same mistake again with De Rossi. So I don't know where they're going. I don't know what they have in mind. I don't know what Juric is going to do. He won the first game.
But he's a good coach. He's more established. If we put emotion aside, he's more established than De Rossi. Can we agree on that?
But it still doesn't justify it.
It doesn't justify
Is he more established than Mourinho?
No, but he was having a bad... I mean, Mourinho's not the same coach he was 10 years ago also. We got to say, right?
I agree with you. Mourinho should never have been sacked.
Yeah, okay. But
Never.
you got to look at the brighter side.
We said this a long time ago.
Part of it.
In all honesty,
And then now
De Rossi
you see-
finished much higher than Juric last year. Torino was...
But there was a mess with the... They didn't give him any money at all.
You can't compare Roma's squad and Torino's squad.
For sure.
In that sense. But now, did you see the Friedkins? They bought Everton.
Everton,
They announced
yeah.
that they bought Everton.
They did.
I don't know. This is bad timing.
Why?
They should
Because it looks
all
terrible.
the chaos now.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look
In
good.
other words, they're gonna put their focus.
They
on
say
the
that they're
EPL.
not. They say that they're not.
I mean,
but
that's what
Everton,
it seems like.
the Premier League,
Everton
we
needs a lot of help too. So
Yeah, they might get
I don't know.
relegated.
They might be biting off more than they could chew. It's their mismanagement. How many directors have they gone through? How many CEOs have they gone through? And then the CEO resigns. I mean, they are a disaster. They really are a mess. They're not treating people the right way. They don't have their clear plans. And I remember saying this when Mourinho went out, it's still true to this day. They don't know what their project is. They don't know. They went and got the best. They got one of the best coaches, the Mourinho, the serial winner, but then they didn't really give him a squad to be a serial winner with. And they have these expectations of the Champions League. But there's no one who can convince me that they have a team that's better than 4 squads in Italy. There's nobody that can convince me that they are better than Inter, than Milan, than Juventus, than Napoli, than even Atalanta.
A good
But if
coach
you want to be
changes that.
conservative and say just 4 of those, they're not better than any of them on paper.
On paper, yeah, but a good coach can change that.
I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
You like a
Good coach can
They had
change that.
Mourinho and they couldn't even change it.
We keep saying Mourinho. He's outdated.
Okay,
Say
what
you
coach?
want.
If Pep Guardiola took over Roma, you think they
Pep
finished top
Guardiola's
4?
a different coach, just like
Who's-
Ancelotti.
okay, so who's one coach?
Just like
If
Ancelotti,
Ancelotti-
you put him Everton, he didn't do good.
Okay, so
it's different.
you said a coach
You
could
need
take
someone like a
Thiago
Motta.
Motta.
Okay, someone like a Motta.
You
That
think
can
Thiago
build
Motta
a
takes them
Zerbi.
to 4th place?
I think he could definitely do it.
In this
contender.
year. In this year.
Yes,
4th place.
a contender. What he did to Bologna, who's a mid-table team, they brought him in top 4. You saying you can't do that to Roma? Come on.
Not in a year.
I
What are you
sort of
talking
agree with
about?
Mike.
Not in a
I
year.
Of
sort
course
of
you
agree.
can. A good coach could change
Marco,
everything.
I sort of agree
What are we
with Mike.
talking about here?
A coach makes a big difference.
There's
No, but I'm not saying that a coach doesn't make a big difference. That's not my argument. My argument is
If
that
they did it
Roma's
with
team on
Bologna.
paper, even if you spend
Yes, on
100 million,
paper, for
is not
sure.
better than 4th place
On
teams.
but it's not played on
at the
paper,
end-
though.
Okay,
That's the
but,
thing
and at the
about
end
the
of the day,
sport,
you're
right?
Roma. You're not going to convince those top coaches to be there. You have De Rossi. That's one of the best coaches that you could have.
They couldn't convince that Zerbi, Motta, if they got him early enough. I don't
No,
think
there's
it's
no way.
crazy.
There's no
Thiago
way. They
I don't think
convince
it's
him.
crazy.
He's
Motta
not
is-
gonna go
why
to
would
Roma
Motta
if
not?
Juventus
He
is
was gonna-
calling.
I'm saying before early.
Juventus
early.
and Milan.
They could have got the Zerbi if they
but
got him
Zerbi-
early.
He knew
I
he
think
was leaving
so.
a long time.
If they got him early,
In
they
any-
could have pulled
in
it
any
off.
case, I think
if they
what-
pulled off Mourinho, you don't think they can pull
What
off?
Marco is saying, but
coach like
he's
that?
talking about the roster. So you can
I
you
get
could
it,
have
but it's not played on paper.
But Mike,
I'm not
you
saying
could
that.
have the
Okay, but
best-
you're talking about the 1%.
You
You're
could
talking
have
about
the
getting
best-
the
yeah.
one
It's
coach
it's
that
really
can take
not
you
the
there.
1%.
The Antonio Conte, the Thiago
It's not-
Motta.
They did it with Mourinho, like the great
But
Mourinho.
you just said
guys are
Mourinho's
saying.
not the same.
I get it.
So
but-
he doesn't have as
but
much
I'm
competition.
playing on
The
what you guys
competition
are
for
saying.
the competition for Thiago Motta was Milan.
Get him earlier.
No,
They got
No,
him
you're not
getting him
gonna be able to
earlier.
get
They
him
figured
early.
this out a long time ago. He was
They're
going to
not gonna be able
qualify.
to
Milan,
He would-
PSG, and Juventus.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
they-
but I'm
Roma
saying
can't
those-
compete. He's
but
not
I'm
gonna be in
saying
Champions
those
League.
kinds of coaches.
See, for me,
I'm
that's
just-
a,
I'm
for
just
me
saying
that's
their
for me
names.
that's the problem. Roma don't understand what they are and what they're fighting for.
No,
You're
yeah,
not
I
going to get
that.
those coaches.
Yeah, I get Roma are in a stance where they're kind of confused. They don't really know. They think they have a project, but then they scrap it very quickly. I do see that, but it's not to say that on paper it's played. If you get a very good coach, if you plan ahead, if you do that, I definitely think Roma could make a top 4, 100%.
Even if you plan ahead and you have a very good roster and you have a very good coach, you still have to understand that the objectives are going to be,
Well,
lower than what you want. Bologna, you think their objective was to win
definitely
Champions League?
not.
So
Definitely not.
it's very hard to say you have this great coach. You could have a brilliant coach and he doesn't have an effect on the team. There's a lot that goes in. There's a lot more
100%.
factors.
I guess my
100%.
final point is that judging De Rossi on him not getting the squad to Champions League is a poor way to judge a coach with Roma's roster.
Mike, the only thing
sure.
the only thing that I have to say.
But I also said De Rossi isn't as
The bench.
isn't a really established coach though. We can all agree with that,
Xabi
right?
Alonso's not established. There's a lot of guys that are not established. They're doing well.
just
I
not
get it,
established.
but that's not the factor for everybody.
Either
right?
I just continue going back to the point of Roma don't know what they're doing. They don't.
No, I
they
agree with you on that.
They'll get
I
Renato
agree. No, I
Sanchez out of
agree.
nowhere
For
because he's an
sure.
opportunity.
For
like,
sure.
is your project to get young players and to build them up and to create over, guys, the next 3-4 years, we're going to make X, Y, and Z moves. But then they pull stuff out of nowhere and there's players that don't work with other players. And then they get a new coach who wants different players. And then they're paying the other coach. It doesn't make sense.
They don't follow through
It
with the
doesn't make sense
project.
at the
No,
highest level.
There's confusion in that
And,
sense.
and then they wanted a
100%.
result in, he's got to qualify them for Champions League right now. Otherwise, it's a failure.
No,
We
for
spent
sure,
100
for
million.
sure.
No, that's not how it
Their
works.
project isn't on
The
par
first time,
with
the first time
with
that
the transfers they get.
the first time De Rossi had a full squad at his disposal was the last match against Genoa, where they conceded in, what was it, the 89th minute?
90 something, man. The last 30 seconds.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a.
For me, not right. Not right.
Oh, for sure.
Not right.
But you can all agree on that.
Not right.
Next.
And,
But they look good though with Juric. They did look good
Well,
with Juric.
Antonio
But
wants to
we'll
get
get
on to the next subject.
Next.
come on,
We talked about Milan
mixed
already.
up.
A lot
We
of
can talk
firsts.
more. We can talk more.
They were in 2 European finals, and they won one.
And they lost all their penalties to Sevilla.
Give me a break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it happens.
I'm with you.
Next match.
A lot of firsts. Bologna won their first game. Venezia won their first game. Fiorentina won their
Fiorentina.
first game.
That Fiorentina game was. Did you guys see the Fiorentina match?
Yeah.
Fiorentina against
3-1.
Lazio. That was wild.
Yeah.
That
The
game.
penalty.
That game was. Everyone's saying.
I didn't
Everyone's
watch it.
split with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is penalty.
To
To
by
be
the letter
honest,
of
it
the
looked
law,
like it was on the line,
by
right?
the letter of the law, it's
Stepped
penalty.
on.
It was on the line.
I
People
hate
were
that
saying
line.
it wasn't out. Some people were saying it was out, right?
No.
Matter. It's still a foul.
No,
It's in the box.
What was it, inside the box?
Yeah, inside the box. It was inside the
box.
box. It is a foul. I mean,
Right.
the guy's gonna go out no matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but he's
I
crossing the
probably-
ball. He stepped on him.
Yeah, it is a
Goodmanson,
penalty.
what a super sub, huh?
Yeah, 2 penalties. Nice goal. Nice.
Great.
He earned the
Yeah.
penalty though.
Fiorentina
Yeah,
needed
the
that.
first one.
Yeah.
Fiorentina needed that. I think, especially for Palladino, new coach there, you don't want to wait too much longer
For
before you win your first game. The fans are
Riot.
they're gonna turn on you real quick. So Fiorentina, there's a lot of new faces there. You know, we really don't know what to expect with that team, and we'll just see. I did like Moiskin, I have to say, even though he missed
He
a
hustles.
complete
That was
open
bad.
header.
That was bad. That was bad.
But I did enjoy the fact that, you know, he's more involved, and I see him being more dynamic than even a Vlahovic. So
Palladino loves
He's a
him.
different kind
Yeah.
of. He
Palladino-
runs though.
he's
He drops
wanted him
back.
since Monza.
Palladino loves Moise Kean.
He's wanted him since Monza. I like the Gosens move also. Those a last minute thing that they did.
Beltran is completely out of the picture.
Yeah, so
Is he
completely.
still part of the squad?
That's
or
another
they-
one. That's another one. Just for example,
That's
Roma.
another- yeah.
That like the expectations and the reality don't match.
Yeah.
Like even a team like Fiorentina, you spend what was it 20 million on Beltran, and then you switch coaches, and now Beltran he doesn't work for this
They sold Nico
coach.
Gonzalez, their best player too, right? I mean,
it's you know, listen.
He needs time, Palladino.
no, yeah.
You know, the Americans or whoever that comes in, they think it's easy business. It's not always easy. There's a lot of factors that are involved. It's like running a Fortune 500 company. You know, your father also is a manager for a company. He's got to deal with how many different
Headaches.
personalities,
Yeah.
different people.
Antonio calling him.
You have to have the experience. I'm sure what he knows now from the first year that he started in the industry, he would do things completely different. So, you know, when you go into this type of world, you have to have the feeling, you have to have the right team around you on the sporting side. You need to have someone like Antonio. Maybe,
That's right. That's
that
right.
can,
I was about to say
choose
it.
the right coach. You know,
That's
so
right.
it's important.
They choose the right coaches.
You know, talking about running a Fortune 500 company, this should be a Fortune 500 company. What are you laughing at? I don't
They
understand.
need more
What's that?
football tables.
That's right, football table. We have a lot of followers. We just need to just make a better business plan and make it explode.
How about Lazio? What are you gonna say?
No, no.
Yeah.
It's on the back.
Lazio, you know,
Say something. I know that you were about to say something.
No, I was not going to say
Okay.
something because I didn't see Lazio. So
Oh, neither did I. I was too
Lazio,
busy.
it's, again, even with Baroni, who I think is a great coach. I think he's doing the best with what he can at Lazio in a situation where they lost a lot of players. You're going to have games like this. Some have gone their way. I think the spirit has been better around the club. Tavares, I really like. I know he gives up the penalty, but he gets also the assist. I think he's been involved in 3 goals since joining. Oh my God, he's
Did
like
they-
a train on the left
Did
hand side.
Castellano played or what? Because once the Lazio loses because one of the striker is not there. Was Castellano?
Yeah,
Castellano?
they're missing still a little bit of the work as a group still. But again, they're another team that's in construction, that's building, that also have to manage. They also have to manage their expectations. They went from finishing in second place to then the next season doing what they did and losing Maurizio Sarri and this and that. So they're another ones that you're going to see these ups and downs in games.
when you get to second place, you have to build on top of it. And unfortunately, we oftentimes see in Italy that they start taking blocks off instead of adding. So,
True.
you know, the expectations of a Lazio, we said like Fiorentina, Roma, these are teams that, although, we're not Inter, Milan, Juve winning Scudetto after Scudetto. They were right up there in the 90s, early 2000s. So, 2000 started with Lazio winning and then Roma winning. So these guys, they've tasted, the fans and the teams have tasted glory. And now when you have these owners that are coming in that they say that they're billionaires or got a lot of money, they want you to start spending for the team.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, even Lazio, since we were talking about Lazio, Lotito, we know how he manages the team, how he's not going to spend over $1.
T-Rex arms, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Marco, you mentioned before Sarri. I mean, why doesn't Sarri, Allegri, or I don't know, some of those top coaches still do not have a job as we speak
They're
right
waiting
now?
for an opportunity. Why would they get a
Just
job?
like you,
Waiting for
just
an
like you
opportunity.
do.
They're getting paid to sit on
Yeah,
that couch.
so-
Roma, instead of picking up Sarri or Allegri, they went to Juric.
I mean, it would be
Is that
very hard
because
for
it
them
was-
to get
That's
Sarri
different.
with the Lazio. He was
And
just
mid-season,
the coach of Lazio.
too. Yeah, it's
No, but go to Allegri. I don't know.
I mean, they have to make a choice.
It's a whole different. He's a
Maybe
whole different coach.
their choice was
Juric.
Juric was cheaper. Probably.
Maybe you guys have Allegri already
Cheaper
ready
to
in
keep
case
it.
you
No,
have
I
to
don't think
sack
so. No, Allegri is the last one that AC Milan is going to call. Neither I think they are high
They
on
do good
Sarri.
there.
You do bring up an interesting point. We heard Cardinale today. He said the fans in Italy think that they own the teams and they only care about winning. And, they have to run it obviously as a company, which makes sense. But there's always a fine balance, I find, between the two things, because it is right that you have club legends like a Totti or De Rossi involved because they have the best interest of the club. They want to win at all costs. And there are times where I think you do need to spend, and you might not see the return immediately. It might not be absolute, but then in the long run, you do win and you do build something that's more positives. But obviously, when they're huge corporations, sometimes they look at it as a balance sheet. This is the profit. This is the loss. Let's not overdo it because we're hitting our targets. We're hitting where we should be.
Everyone wants someone like Gasperini to get them from the Primavera or get them cheap and then triple their value and sell them abroad. But the reality is, it's not always like that. You got to spend. You got to spend money to make money, and it's never a straight line in football at all. Sometimes investments, 50 million you spend, it doesn't go as expected. Sometimes the guys come up from the Primavera end up making you the money.
Look at Juventus with
So
Douglas
that's why
Luiz.
it's difficult.
50 million and Douglas Luiz is still not involved.
See, there we
in-
go.
Hey,
You never know. There's no blueprint.
Marco, I'm surprised the comment that Cardinale made that said that the fans, I think they're running the team. In a way, for AC Milan, they kind of do run the team because the choices of the coach. Initially, AC Milan was high on Lopetegui. They almost signed him. And then all of a sudden,
You're not wrong.
all of a sudden, the fans, they say, you're not getting this guy here over here. You're not. So sure enough, Cardinale added the ball down to the fans and Ibrahimovic and everybody else, Zlatan and everybody else. And then they got a little meeting. They said, hey, the fans, they don't want this guy here. God forbid this guy here comes over and he screws things up. We're going to hear it's going to be double trouble. So, I don't know. Cardinale is a smart guy. He's an American. He knows what business is all about it. I think he has to give the fans a lot more credit because we are the one wearing the shirts, okay? We the one buying the jersey. We the
bought
one
that for you.
pressing the right channel.
You didn't pay for that
We
shirt.
bought that for you, man.
You didn't have to say that on your own. We are the heart of the team. Without fans, there is no business. So the fans, whether it's directly or indirectly, Mr. Jerry, I love you because you're the owner of AC Milan. The fans, they run the team.
But at the same time, you can't have fans running the team. If fans run the team, I mean, it's not how it works.
Unfortunately, now it doesn't work like that way. But Berlusconi, Moratti,
back in the day, right?
these guys, they ran it as, as a fan would.
Oh, I
buying
meant-
this player, buying that player.
Yeah.
He means
I-
actually fans.
Yeah, I meant like actually. I remember, for example, you brought up Lopetegui. Juventus fans wanted to kill Allegri the first time that he coached the team when they got rid of Conte. When Conte resigned,
Yeah.
they were singing "Noi non vogliamo Max Allegri." There was a chant
Yeah.
outside the team bus saying, get rid of this guy, fix it with Conte. And then Allegri took them to 2 Champions League finals and continued on the cycle and actually brought what the team needed in the moment when Conte was draining the team. He found a way to find a little bit more balance and to build on top of it. So you can't always listen to the fans because then you're going to have a mob running your team.
But also the fans, one day they'll say, if you go to every Milan fan and say from day 1 to day 5, they'll tell you 2 complete versions of how the game should be played or what Fonseca should do or shouldn't do. So you can't live it based on emotion. No, any fans.
Oh, okay.
Any fans. We were just talking about Cardinale. So, the fans to run something, you have to go more than just the emotions or just what's going on. I remember even Stankovic was supposed to go to Juventus and Vucinic was supposed to come to Inter, and both sides said absolutely not to that.
Was it Stankovic?
Yeah.
I thought it was
supposed to go to
Vucinic
Juve.
and... Wasn't it?
Freddy Guarin?
Yeah, Guarin.
Guarin and Vucinic,
Yeah,
but
that's
also
what I remember.
Stankovic.
Forgot about Guarin.
Mourinho had him out of his plans.
Okay.
And then he became one of his loyal players for that Inter team that ended up winning the treble.
Guarin, that was a crazy
But
one.
Freddy Guarin for
Guarin was in
Vucinic,
the
I forgot.
Juventus's
The Colombian fella.
HQ.
Forgot
Yeah.
about him.
And they got rid of him because the fans vetoed it.
Yeah. So, who knows what could have happened, but ultimately, you have to have, a board, you have to have a president, you have to have a sporting director that's going to make choices based on the better of the team. And, unfortunately also, when you compete with the Premier League, the Italian teams do not make enough money to go out and buy who you want and bring who you want.
So what makes you think that after the game we go to celebrate, the whole hands, all the players, they go over there, they hold hands and they go under the curva to say, boom, they do the jumping.
Yeah,
And
but-
then even when they lose, they go over there.
Yeah, but that's not right.
Thanks for showing us a visual picture.
That's not right.
Why?
And they go under the curva and they start applauding and they applaud.
Oh my God.
When they lose the game.
That's
So
embarrassing.
I have been at the games and I'm not sitting in the curva, and they go and just salute the curva.
He
But
wants to be said.
I'm a spectator too.
You
Why
pay
don't
the
they
money
come to
too, right?
the center and salute the people in the center? So that's not right. But I want to say something else.
Yes.
You want them to go around like a parade, right?
Personal.
Yeah, but the curva is the place where only the die-hard, they're willing to do
travel.
anything, they travel and all the stuff. The spit blood.
Other people travel too.
honest,
You
they pay more for the tickets on the curva.
actually, according to some of my inside the curva, they pay $10 to see the game,
yeah.
and the other guys they
You
pay
pay more.
$100.
They pay
You should
more.
thank the people that
Yeah.
pay $100
discount
than the
those
People
curva.
that they pay $10.
That's all the money they have.
That's all the money they have left to be
Nah,
alive. They
that's
deprive
baloney.
themselves from the sandwich over the day. They just to be at the stadium.
The sandwich of
It's
the
either
day.
the panino
Uomo del popolo.
or the stadium.
Or the rent, right?
That's right. Or the rent.
The rent or the ticket.
That's right.
They get
Or-
evacuated when they go
They
back
actually
home.
take the bus to go to the game. They don't take the car because they can afford even the gas.
No,
In
that's
Italy, the
that's
gas is
not
very
all
expensive.
true. That's not
Meanwhile,
all true.
Gaetano's a
A lot of
Rolls
them they
Royce
make a
going
lot of
there.
money with the curva. Anyway,
I do remember, real quick though, I remember when we went to the Italy game over here at Red Bull Arena, and I'll never forget that Mancini didn't come over to us.
Can you
in the
believe that
curva.
guy? Can you
And
believe
I'm
that?
not gonna
Gaetano still
lie.
thinks about that.
I'm not
We
gonna
were
lie,
on the
it still-
curva,
it still
paisa.
pissed me off. I remember that, and
Right.
even the whole team. I think they should have done a lot more because I said, "Come on,
could've.
you guys! They didn't give their shirt. They didn't go even
Right.
close to the
It
people.
was like 70%
They did like
Italy.
a BS kind of like wave to
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
And we paid a lot of money and we paid our actual money
Marco
to be
Motta
there.
afterwards.
No, I was a little bit annoyed. And then I remember Mancini, who I said, "You're not even a good player. You're not even a player that I like." And then you walk off and you don't even come.
Damn,
whatever.
a good player.
well, the curva
I
in
do
the
remember.
United States are different than the curva.
We're the only
in-
ones
in-
singing.
Yeah. Anyway,
What else were you
so
doing?
so I was thinking, let's say that I'm a millionaire, or I have a
Wink, wink.
lot of money.
Wink,
A little
wink,
bit more.
right?
Yeah, I think
You're a little bit more. You
Okay.
are a millionaire.
All right, let's say I'm.
you got Antonio right there. Did you see that wedding?
So let's say I have $1 billion
There you
and I
go.
could buy the team.
There you go.
Don't do it.
Do I go to Italy and buy a team when I have a project? Okay, I have a project where I want to build the team and I want to coach. And if I sign a coach for 3 years, how can I fire him after 3-4 games? But what kind of project do I have? Or do I go to England? I go to United States. I go to Spain. I go to Holland and buy a team and have the time for my project to develop.
But you'd be
Because-
the one that's making the decision.
Because no, we're talking about the curva that makes some of the decisions about the coach, when the coach has to be fired because there's so much pressure. Like there was so much pressure on Fonseca on this game. Okay, and I tell you 100%, if he loses that game, he loses his job. And that's not right, because you built a project. You spend hundreds of millions of dollars, but you cannot win after 3-4 games. You have to give the coach, the time to develop.
That's all big clubs, though.
To develop.
That's big teams.
that's very
Anytime it's
non-Italian
a
of
big
you,
team.
Gaetano.
No, but anytime there's a big team like Real
That's
Madrid, they
true,
tie a
yeah.
game, they want to these guys want to kill everybody.
Okay, but
More so
I don't,
in Italy, though.
I don't see
They
it.
give less time
I
in
don't
Italy
see
to
it
the
in
coach, for
England.
sure.
I don't see it in Spain. I don't see it in United States. I
Well,
don't see
USA,
it.
you can't even compare.
Don't say
We don't have the
When they get a
football
when they get a
We don't have the
coach,
code.
even if the coach is doing very very bad, they give him time to develop. And I always look at Sir Ferguson when he started at Man United. He was doing really bad the first year or two, but they didn't fire him.
They said the same thing
They,
about.
they built up, and then he became one of the
Coach,
best, most successful coach in football.
I think-
so. You have to give the coach a chance. You cannot fire somebody because you have the pressure of the fans, and I think this only happens mostly in Italy.
But it's situational because I think it was Costa Curto who said if Berlusconi listened to the fans, he would have fired Sacchi right away. He said Sacchi came in, this unproven guy, didn't do well in the beginning. Everybody wanted to get rid of him, but Berlusconi was so sure that Sacchi would become something that he kept him.
Right. So
But it's situational. It's not just Italy.
No, it's Italy. I don't see any other
It's more
campionato,
cutthroat.
any other where you get sacked after 3-4 games.
No, it's true. You're right.
You lose. You see Venezia, you lose 5 games, you're out.
Yeah.
You're out for sure. Anyway, but Berlusconi, one thing that Berlusconi did, okay, and this I heard it and from somebody that was there. Every Monday, I think it was every Monday, whatever, Berlusconi he stopped, he talked to the team, but he spent a lot of time with the team, maybe an hour. One time, he said, I want everybody in my office. He went to Milanella, said, I want everybody in my office. And whoever was there timed it. It was about 27 seconds. Berlusconi said, you either with Sacchi or otherwise I'll fire all of you. Get out of here. Everybody out. It took about 27 seconds. And according to the people that were there, that's what changed Sacchi. Because Sacchi, he was about to get fired. But Berlusconi, he talked to all the players, and that's what he said.
Gaetano, you know what?
We don't have guys like that.
Gaetano, I agree with you 100%. But to get back to $1 billion that you have to invest,
Give me some.
You want to share some over here?
do me a favor. If you want to invest that $1 billion, come and invest on AC Milan. Or otherwise, don't go into soccer.
You already have a billionaire. Well, you don't need it.
We can use more money.
You-
Don't worry. It's always something that we
I think,
can do.
honestly,
There's always something to improve,
Pete,
right?
do they really make money? All I hear is that these teams lose money.
They make money. AC Milan made money last year. And they made money
sure,
2
they're
years
one of the
ago.
few.
Milan did, but
One of the few.
You make money more on the valuation of the team. So, like, if you hold the team for 10 years, chances are it's going to go up. As long as you don't get relegated, as long as you continue staying
Keep
up
it
in Champions
consistent,
League,
right?
so on and so
But the
forth.
stress that comes along with it.
But that's the reality of it. I think, obviously the franchise model in the U.S., if you had $1 billion, I would say throw it in the NFL, throw it in
Oh, yeah.
wherever, and you just sit because you don't have to do
Oh,
anything.
yeah, it's true.
Because you're making money.
Even
You don't
these
get
MLS
relegated.
teams
So
get worth so
a lot of
much
these
money.
guys are coming into Italy because they see it as undervalued assets. So if they're able to get the stadium, get certain things going, now all of a sudden you really
You
jump.
need to have enough money that you can lose money.
No,
as
you
well.
have to have a high
Because
burn rate.
There's some people that they have just enough to be able to get a
No.
team.
Not good.
And
I've
they
heard
barely
stories, and then you could really be in the hole. So you need to be able to lose first.
You need a
for
burn
period
rate.
of time.
Yeah.
It's a race to the top. It's a burn rate. That's what you need.
Next. No, sorry. I just was telling Mike about something
Don't
else.
say it.
So
All
be
right.
careful. The mic was right there, and it might have caught everything that you said.
Nah, he didn't. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I would say that I've been enjoying this September. It's a month to remember.
He's talking about his
Remember-
feeling. This is Antonio's feeling.
The 21st night.
September.
It's
Oh, I like
December
that.
to
You know, it's
remember.
the 21st night of September.
What?
The song goes the 21st
First night of September.
Wasn't
That was when you-
That's your daughter's wedding too,
That's
right?
right. September 21st.
You see that?
Anto, who came up with your wedding song with the father-daughter dance, by the way?
It's
That was
actually.
excellent. I shed a couple tears.
Oh yeah, really? It was my daughter's idea, and then actually I picked up something else, which I'm not gonna say live over here.
Why not?
But, I think it was Whitney Houston, but my daughter said, "Dad, it's a beautiful song, but it's kind of sad. I want something happy, something." So I said, "You know what? You
Milan
what?"
anthem.
I said, "What?" Yeah, I would have said Milan, Milan. That would be my wedding, daughter wedding song. But I said, "You know what? It's your wedding. I love you. You get."
It's like the fans with the fans.
You
You
get-
listen to Loretta.
Yeah,
She's
you
like the
get the-
fans that dictate the club.
You get to pick up the song. That's it.
While you were dancing with your daughter,
Yeah.
you
Oh
were,
my God.
you were talking to her. Were you
Yeah.
saying Forza Milan?
No, actually, my daughter. She was saying, "You stepping on my dress."
Wait, how about his daughter doing the first dance and he's talking to Mike? Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that.
I had to stop recording because I felt so embarrassed. I saw
I
your
saw
wife
that.
looking.
Come on.
Your daughter was doing the first dance and you were talking to Mike. Don't you
I
talk
what?
to this guy enough?
Oh,
Yeah, you grab him by his head.
yo, bros. That me not say
Oh
anything.
my God! All right, we're at the podcast. Thank you guys.
By the
We'll talk
way,
to
it
you
was
soon.
great. It was a
Ciao,
great
ragazzi.
podcast. Let's keep it that
All right,
way. Let's
we'll
keep
see
it
you.
this way.
And Forza
Milan,
and
body.